Housing has long been flagged as one of the fundamental ways to improve outcomes for remote Aboriginal people in the Territory. Just after announcing the federal intervention in 2007, the Howard government signed off on a $700 million agreement to address a massive housing shortage. The bulk of that money went into the Strategic Indigenous Housing and Infrastructure program known as SIHIP, which has become one of the most heavily scrutinised programs in the Territory's history. But amidst cost blowouts, construction delays and complaints about substandard work lies a success story involving an Aboriginal-owned corporation in Wadeye. The Tamarua Development Corporation's ability to deliver houses is now raising questions about the effectiveness of the alliance building model used by the program. Louisa Redgetz reports.
Wadeye sits about 400 kilometres southwest of Darwin, the biggest Aboriginal community in the Northern Territory. The population of 3,000, most of the adults dependent on welfare, is fast expanding. An average of 16 people cram into each house. But SIHIP is providing an opportunity to change that.
It's about producing houses for the community, but in the legacy this is going to leave behind is obviously the trainees that we're producing here.
This workshop is owned and operated by a local Indigenous company in Wadeye. The Tamarua Development Corporation has been contracted to build the first batch of 105 houses which SIHIP will eventually deliver at Wadeye. The corporation has already produced more new houses than any of the alliances working in other communities.
It will be 12 houses by the end of June, which should be good, and we should sustain those 3 houses per month from here on in.
We've a proven track record on building the houses. We're very well equipped, and we've got good capacity to build a house from start to finish.
The Tamarua Development Corporation did its best to capitalise on the country's biggest investment in Indigenous housing. 12 months ago, it purchased this $1 million concrete batching plant to help secure the housing contract at Wadeye.
We purchased a batching plant from France, and it's a state-of-the-art batching plant. It produces more than what's required for the program, and I think it's a plant that's going to be here for the next 20, 30 years.
Local products and people are used wherever possible. The sand for the concrete is purchased from nearby traditional owners. More than 50% of the workforce is Indigenous.
We've managed to ramp up to 24 full-time employees at the moment, which are actually quite constant. A lot of these guys are doing between 20 and 30, 40 hours a week, which is amazing.
Oh, it's really good. Keep me busy from staying home and something to do better for myself out here.
Joseph Thomas is doing his Certificate 2 in building construction. Having a job enables him to better support his family.
The more money you get, the more tucker you get for your kids.
It's not about more money, just mainly working, building and learning.
John Tipalura left his work for the dole job to build houses. He's also excited at the prospect of furthering his education.
Seeing from a house building up from the ground up, it's really good.
The guys take a lot of pride in their work, and they find themselves working on family members' homes and friends' homes and things like that, and they get quite excited about it. And there's definitely a sense of achievement.
Under SIHIP, 2 building alliances, each made up of various construction companies, are delivering the 750 new houses, 230 rebuilds and 2,500 housing upgrades on Aboriginal communities across the Territory. The New Futures Alliance is in charge in Wadeye, and it's subcontracted construction of new houses here to the Tamarua Development Corporation. The corporation's CEO, John Verto, says money could be saved by cutting the alliance out of the picture.
There's obvious savings there when you haven't got a middleman there, and because of that, I'm sure we were able to bring the house prices even further down to what they are now.
The Northern Territory government is managing the program for the Commonwealth, and Housing Minister Chris Burns has shown some sympathy for the prospect of dealing directly with the community.
Well, the alliance model was the model that was insisted on by the previous federal government. We had to accept that, but I think the next stages of the partnership agreement, I think we have to look at alternatives and ways of engaging local organisations that have the capacity to do the work.
The Tamara Development Corporation will build 54 new houses in Wadeye. Word of its success is spreading fast across the Territory.
Tamara Development Corporation is a good model. It's a model where they can control their own futures, their own destiny at the end of the day. And other communities are very interested in the TDC model, and they're very interested in setting up the same type of model back in their own communities.
105 houses promised in Wadeye won't solve the housing shortage. The corporation says another 170 on top of that are needed to stop overcrowding. But it's a start, and is certainly making a difference for Adrian Litchen and his family.
Where we were living, in an old house, and not a safe place for us. This house, more room, neat and tidy, both from outside and inside, and no other people interfering us, a better family lifestyle.
Louisa Rebget's reporting.